Sir, I'm asking you one last time. Get out of the pool. Blue and red lights stuttered across the water like angry fish, swirling over the Lake Ridge HOA pool as a police SUV idled by the fence, its engine humming steady and slow. A whistle shrieked out, a lifeguard's whistle, even though no lifeguard was ever on duty here, and the sound cut sharp through the late afternoon stillness. At the edge of the pool, Karen, the board member with a permanent visor, her chin pointed so high you'd think she was measuring clouds, stood with her clipboard clutched like a medieval shield and her finger jabbing at me like I'd sunk her battleship. "You don't live here," she snapped. "You don't have a valid key fob. You're trespassing. Leave now or be arrested." I was standing there, waist deep in water that felt like borrowed forgiveness, sunlight still warm on my back. Kids were silent. Parents shepherded their little ones away from me like I'd tracked mud onto holy ground. Even the wind stopped. I told her, flat as a board, "I'm not leaving." That's when two officers strolled in through the gate, one resting his hands on his belt, the other glancing from Karen to me. "Sir, we got a call," the first one said. "You refusing to leave?" "I'm not refusing the law," I answered, keeping my voice level. "I'm refusing a rule that's being used to bully people." Karen's tongue made a sound like she was scolding a child. "He's lying. He doesn't belong here." The officer nodded, slow as syrup. "Okay. Step out of the water so we can talk." As I moved, the entire pool watched. Mothers, fathers, that old guy who always had a paperback, and those two little boys who Karen had already scolded for excessive splashing. My heart was steady. I'd promised myself I'd be kind, patient, but I was also done being trampled. At the edge, I looked the officer in the eye. "I'm not leaving this pool." My phone buzzed on the chair. Karen's visor caught the sun. The officer waited. I let the silence stretch. Then I said, "Because I built it." Those words hung there, weightless, heavy, impossible. Karen's jaw unhinged. The officer blinked. "Excuse me?" Before he could finish, his partner's radio barked out, and then a scream tore the day wide open. A kid. Deep end. Pink foam noodle drifting in lazy circles with nobody on it. A small hand slapped the surface, then vanished. "Help!" a woman screamed. "Somebody, my daughter." "Idove." Everything changed in that instant. But big moments? They grow from small. And so let me back up a sec. I moved to Lake Ridge in the spring, trees blushing green, geese patrolling the sidewalks like tiny feathered security guards. My name's Ethan Miller. Regular guy, project manager, calluses from building trails, parks, and yeah, pools. I'd worked on dozens. Never stuck around after the ribbon cuttings, just move on to the next job. Lake Ridge was supposed to be my quiet chapter, the house on Birch Loop close to my sister Rachel, my nephew Aiden. But the pool, man, the pool. It was familiar. The curves, the deck, the bench in the deep end. I'd drawn them up 3 summers ago. Never told a soul. Didn't matter to me. I moved in, shook hands, helped neighbors, cleaned Mr. Harris's gutters. Guy tried to pay me with a warm Pepsi and a story about meeting a ball player in Ohio. Honestly, fair trade. Fixed a gate hinge, sent a note to the HOA offering to help. Got a form email back. Please refer to the rulebook. All repairs must go through the portal. That was my first taste of HOA flavor. Then I met the main dish, Karen. She introduced herself at the pool. I was teaching Aiden to blow bubbles. She came over, papers stacked neat, key fob on a lanyard like a badge. "We're very proud of our standards," she told me, voice crisp. "No guests without a pass purchased 24 hours in advance." "I got one this morning," I said. "Next time a day earlier," she replied. Aiden, bless him, didn't hear a thing, busy making fish faces. The first violation slip showed up on my door next day. Trash can visible for 4 hours after pickup. Paid the fine, set a reminder. Next, a letter about my mailbox being the wrong shade of black. Yeah, there are shades. Apparently. Painted it. Brought donuts to the pool for the kids, asked the parents first. Karen sniffed a donut like it was evidence at a crime scene. "No outside food." I shrugged. "Even if parents say it's okay?" She pointed at the smallest line on the poster. I apologized, smiled. Figured that'd be the end. It wasn't. More notices flagged too big, porch bulb too bright, hose not on the right reel. I wasn't alone. Jessica, my neighbor, a nurse, got one for her grass being an inch too long the week her car died. A family down the block got scolded for chalk art. Chalk art washes away in rain and laughter. We grumbled in whispers by the mailboxes, then louder in a group chat. Rules are rules, some said. I thought rules should help us live better, not terrify us. Then the pool became the summer center. My key fob beeped red one Tuesday malfunction. Contact HOA. Called, emailed, submitted a ticket, got nowhere. Thursday, Karen announced, your fob is deactivated. You have flags on your account. I asked, what flags? She wouldn't say. Pending review. I went home and wrote a letter kind, honest, offering help, asking for fairness. Slipped it under the office door with a box of muffins. No reply. Sunday, boiling hot. Aiden and I went to the pool anyway. Karen blocked the gate. No entry. I said, we're not causing trouble. We just want to swim. She pulled out her phone. Calling the police. And here's where you came in the scene by the pool. Lights flashing. Karen on the warpath. Officers called. Crowd gathering. When I told them, I built it, I didn't mean alone. I meant I led the team. I knew every bolt in that deck. But the words came out like a stone in a lake. Then the scream, the dive, the rescue. Underwater, everything was cool, silent, urgent. I grabbed the girl, brought her up, she coughed, cried, her mother sobbed thanks. The officer looked at me. You know what you're doing? Yeah, I said. I've done this before. Even Karen froze for a second, clipboard drooping. Then she found her spine. This doesn't change the facts, she snapped. The officer, now less patient. Let's take a breath. The crowd thawed. A few people clapped, then looked embarrassed. I wanted to think the day would end their soft landing. But Karen wasn't finished. She whipped out a paper with a red stamp. As acting president, I issue a formal no trespass order. If he doesn't leave, arrest him. The air snapped, gasped. Aiden grabbed my hand. The officer's patience wore thin. Karen's voice was tight. It's necessary. He's dangerous to our community standards. I thought about Mr. Harris's gutters, Jessica's grass, the chalk art, the kindness that didn't fit their rules. I let go of Aiden's hand. Officer, before you cuff me, hear this. And just then, 3 more board members burst through the gate, shouting, Karen, stop. You can't issue that without a board vote. The tension was electric, crowd leaning in, officers unsure, Karen's clipboard trembling. Then the little girl I'd pulled from the water squeaked, thank you. Her voice small but stronger than Karen's whole rulebook. The applause this time was real. Karen wilted. The board overruled her, couldn't kick me out. Not after what happened. For a moment, the neighborhood felt like it might actually come together. But next morning, yellow slip, unauthorized use of HOA property. Possible fine, $5,000. $5,000. Jessica saw the notice, her jaw dropped. They can't do that. But the paper said otherwise. I sat at my kitchen table, hands shaking. $5,000 wasn't a warning, it was a threat. I thought about paying just to be done, but pictured Mr. Harris, Jessica, the kids, all fighting this silent war alone. No, I wasn't paying. But I wasn't fighting solo either. I went door to door, telling neighbors. Stories poured out, fines for parked cars, planters, strollers. Same villain every time, Karen. 20 households signed on, then 30, then more. We held a backyard meeting, lanterns strung, chairs dragged from garages. I told them, this isn't just about me. It's about all of us. We pay dues. We deserve kindness, not threats. Jessica told her story, 12-hour hospital shifts, still coming home to rule violations. Mr. Harris, 20 years living here, raised his cane. I don't need perfection. I need neighbors. The energy was real. But Karen showed up, visor shining, with 2 board members. Unauthorized gathering, she said, waving her clipboard. You people think you can rewrite the bylaws? Mr. Harris interrupted. Authority comes from people, and the people are here. Karen doubled down. Effective immediately, Ethan Miller is banned from all amenities, pending legal review. Set foot on them again and you'll be arrested. That night, sleep wouldn't come. Banned not just from the pool but the dock, clubhouse, even walking trails. Next morning, Karen posted on the HOA Facebook, Ethan Miller has endangered our community. Report any sightings. Jessica handed me coffee, her voice low. She's poisoning people against you. I called a meeting in Mr. Harris's garage. Smelled like oil and old wood, but felt safe. We divided streets, gathered signatures. Karen threatened legal hell. I'll bury you in fees before you even file it. She served me a cease and desist. Accused me of harassment, inciting disorder, defamation. Instead of caving, the neighborhood got louder. Petitions grew. Karen lashed out more fines, more threats. Then one night, smoke rose from the clubhouse. Fire, sirens, chaos. Karen screaming across the crowd. This is his doing. I denied it, but the seed was planted. Investigators came. Some neighbors stared. Others stood with me. Doubt's a heavy thing, but kindness is stubborn. Then twist. Fire investigators found security footage. The arsonist wasn't me. It was Karen herself. She tried to claim insurance, tried to grab power, tried to frame me. But the evidence was clear. Karen was arrested. Her house dark. Her name ruined. But that wasn't the end. Days later, an anonymous text. Don't think this is over. Karen was only the beginning. At the next board meeting, a new face appeared. Daniel Price. Smooth suit, practiced smile, a resume full of efficiency and compliance. Turns out he'd run another HOA into the ground 2 years ago. Now he was sliding into Karen's seat, pushing stricter rules and temporary powers. I called it out, said, this is how it starts, you give up control for stability. Daniel smirked. Ethan, you've caused enough disruption. Let the adults handle it. Threats escalated. A note taped to my door. You can't save them. Step aside or you'll regret it. But I'd been through too much to scare easy. The community rallied. Jessica and Tom running new elections. Mr. Harris knocking on doors. And finally, election day. The new board neighbors, not rulers, won by a landslide. That night, I walked down to the pool. Our pool. Kids splashed, parents laughed. I ran my hand along the water, thought about the first day I was told to leave. We survived because we pulled together through fines, fires, threats, and worse. Not because of me, but because of us. Kindness had won. But as I left, I checked my phone one last time. That anonymous message still lingered. Karen was only the beginning. And that's the thing about fighting for what's right. The battles don't end, they just change faces. So, let me ask you, where do you stand? If your neighbor needed you, would you fight? Or would you look away? Drop a comment, share your story, tell us what you think about rules, fairness, and what it really means to be a community. Because sometimes, the only thing standing between chaos and kindness is a neighbor willing to get in the pool and stay the no matter who's blowing the whistle.